Repositioning cruises are the ones everyone whispers about. The price per night is insane. Same ship, half the cost. And that part is true. Cruise lines charge less per day for repositioning cruises than almost any other sailing. But I've met a lot of people who discovered something the hard way. Just because a cruise is cheap doesn't mean it's right for a first-timer. In this video, I'll reveal 10 repositioning cruise secrets that most people only learn after they've already booked. If you're thinking about your very first repositioning cruise, watching this before you pay your deposit could save your vacation. Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding of all. Most first-timers think a repositioning cruise is just a normal itinerary with a fancy name. It isn't. A repositioning cruise is when a ship moves from one region to another as the seasons change. Caribbean to Europe in spring, Alaska back to the Caribbean in autumn, sometimes Europe to Asia through the Suez, or North America to Australia through Hawaii and the South Pacific. The goal isn't to circle a region, the goal is to move the ship as quickly and efficiently as possible. That means one-way voyage, long distance, and you will need a long-haul flight on one end of the trip. If you're hoping to avoid flying altogether, a repositioning cruise is not your shortcut. Another thing nobody tells first-timers? You can't just pick any month and say, let's do a repositioning cruise. These sailings only happen at the start and end of each region's season. Roughly March to April, ships leave the Caribbean and head to places like Europe or Alaska. Around October to November, they head back again. That's it. No summer repositioning, no Christmas repositioning. So if your vacation time doesn't line up with those windows, you'll be out of luck. And even if it does line up, there's another catch. These dates are often shoulder season in both regions. You're not getting the very best weather at the start and end of a season, which leads straight into the next secret. On a typical 7-night Caribbean cruise, you might visit 4 or 5 ports. But on a repositioning cruise of, say, 10 to 14 nights, you might only get 3 or 4 ports total. Why is that? Well, the ship is crossing an ocean. It has to cover thousands of miles, which means you'll have these long strings of sea days. 5 or 6 in a row isn't unusual at all. Some repositionings, like those from Alaska to Japan or across the Atlantic, can rack up 8 or more sea days on one voyage. So, if you're the kind of cruiser who gets bored when there's no port, you really need to be honest with yourself. A repositioning cruise will feel endless. The people who love these trips? They think of the ship as the destination. They actually look forward to sleeping in, going to enrichment lectures, reading on deck, and slowly working through every restaurant and bar on board. If that sounds like your dream, awesome. If it sounds like a nightmare, that's a huge red flag. Because there are so many sea days, cruise lines have to fill a lot of time. The daily program on a repositioning cruise often looks very different from what you'd see on a regular Caribbean or Mediterranean sailing. You'll still get production shows and guest entertainers, of course, but you'll see a much heavier focus on things like lectures, trivia, bingo, dance classes, cooking demos, Q&As with officers, and small cabaret-style performances. Some lines even test new shows on these crossings because there's time for rehearsals and tweaks. For many seasoned cruisers, this slower, more enrichment-based program is just perfect. But for guests expecting a late-night party cruise with packed theaters and high-energy events every evening, it can feel, well, a little too quiet. So before you book your first repositioning cruise, don't just ask, is the price good? Ask yourself, do I actually like this line style for 10 to 20 nights in a row? Repositioning cruises often cross open oceans between seasons, and honestly, that can mean choppy seas, strong winds, and closed decks. I've seen pools drained because of rough water, upper decks roped off due to wind, and more than a few guests suddenly remember they're prone to motion sickness. On top of that, the weather at the start and end of your cruise can be completely different. You might leave in chilly autumn, wrapped in sweaters, and then arrive in tropical heat, or the other way around. First-timers often pack as if they're going on a standard sun and sand cruise, and halfway across the Atlantic, they're shivering in a t-shirt on deck. And remember, bad weather can also mean missed ports on an itinerary that already has very few port days. So you really have to go into a repositioning cruise mentally ready for, flexible plans and moving seas. Alright folks, now for the part that everyone just loves. Repositioning cruises can be an unbelievable value, because they're longer and, less popular with the mass market. Cruise lines often sell them at a much lower per-night rate than the usual itineraries. And that's why seasoned cruisers use them to try out ultra-premium lines they couldn't usually afford, or maybe upgrade to those balcony cabins and suites that are normally way out of budget. But here's the secret that nobody tells first-timers. The cruise fare? It's only half the story. A longer cruise means more days of drinks, gratuities, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, casino play, onboard shopping, and possibly even paid laundry, 'cause you're away much longer. And then there's the one-way international flight, and any pre- or post-cruise hotel stays. Book those late and, oh boy, you can easily wipe out all the savings from that bargain repositioning fare. So before you go ahead and congratulate yourself on the deal of the century, make sure to price the entire trip from home to home. Sometimes, the cheap cruise ends up costing almost the same as a regular round-trip itinerary. Here's some good news. Almost every major line repositions ships twice a year. From big mass-market brands to luxury small ship lines, they all have to move their fleets. That means massive choice for you. Big resort mega ships, small intimate ships, premium, luxury, or expedition vessels. It's also one of the best ways to try brand new ships. Most new builds are completed in Europe, then repositioned to the Caribbean shortly after. Those crossings give you long, relaxed days to explore every corner of a new vessel. The secret is that repositioning cruises usually aren't pushed heavily in glossy brochures. You often have to use a cruise specialist travel agent, turn on repositioning filters in the cruise line search, or watch dedicated crossing lists on aggregator websites. First-timers who don't know where to look never even see these sailings. On a 7-night port-heavy cruise, many guests are happy in an inside cabin. They're off the ship most days and only sleep there. On a repositioning cruise with 10, 15, or even 20 nights and lots of sea days, that same cabin can feel like a closet that moves. If you're going to spend long stretches on board, cabin choice matters much more. Many veteran repositioning cruisers strongly prefer at least an ocean view, ideally a balcony, especially for rough sea days when going outside isn't comfortable. And a midship location to reduce movement. First-timers often treat cabin choice like a regular cruise and go for the cheapest inside. Halfway through the crossing, they're climbing the walls. If there's ever a time to stretch a bit for a better cabin, it's on a long, sea-day-heavy repositioning cruise. Crossing multiple countries and time zones adds a few grown-up details nobody likes to think about. Visas and electronic travel authorizations. Some routes require advanced documents for specific countries, even if you're only in port for a day. Turn up without them, and you can be denied boarding. Time changes. Depending on your direction, you might gain an hour many nights in a row, or lose an hour many nights in a row. Gaining time feels great. Losing an hour of sleep repeatedly can be surprisingly tiring. Wi-Fi and connectivity. Even with modern systems like satellite broadband, there can still be dead zones in the middle of nowhere. If you absolutely must work or make video calls, you may need the highest tier internet package, and even then, accept that it won't always be perfect. And finally, travel insurance. On long remote sailings, if something serious happens and you need medical evacuation, the cost can be enormous. Comprehensive insurance with cruise and medical coverage is not optional here. These are the unglamorous details that experienced repositioning cruisers quietly sort out well before they pack their suitcase. Here's the truth most marketing never says out loud. Repositioning cruises are amazing for some travelers. and absolutely wrong for others. They work best for experienced cruisers who already know they love sea days, retirees or guests with flexible schedules who can be away for 2 to 3 weeks, budget-conscious travelers who want more days at sea for less, and are realistic about onboard spending, and social cruisers who enjoy meeting fellow guests during those long stretches at sea. They're usually not ideal for first-time cruisers who have no idea if they enjoy ship life yet, families with young kids who need constant stimulation and frequent ports, or anyone who gets anxious about rough seas or bored when the schedule slows down. If you love the idea of lots of quiet days, enrichment talks, and really getting to know one ship inside and out, a repositioning cruise could be the trip of a lifetime. If what you really want is non-stop ports and perfect weather, you'll be much happier on a classic round-trip itinerary. A cruise drink package seems simple enough, but the truth is most people don't use them the right way, and a few easy-to-miss choices can turn a good deal into a costly mistake. It's not just about what you drink, it's when, how, and what you didn't realize you agreed to. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain. Because the real problems? They don't show up until it's too late. If you're thinking about getting a drink package, or already have one, there are things you'll want to know before that first sip. A cruise drink package can seem like a last-minute add-on, but buying it late? That's one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Cruise lines almost always offer lower prices before you sail, and once you're on board, that same package can cost up to 20% more. That's money you could have spent on an excursion or another cruise entirely. Even worse, drink package prices have quietly crept up year after year. So locking in early means you're protected from sudden price hikes. The good news? If you buy early and the price drops later, most cruise lines will let you cancel and rebook at the lower rate. It takes just a few clicks on the cruise planner site. Simple, easy savings. No calls, no hassle. So before you even pack your bags, check your online reservation. Lock in that lower rate and toast to making smarter choices at sea. Because overpaying for the same drinks? That's a rookie move. And you're smarter than that. You paid for the drink package. So why are you getting the cheap stuff? Here's the truth most cruisers don't realize. Bartenders won't automatically pour you premium liquor, even if your package includes it. Unless you specifically ask, you'll often get the default house brand. And that house brand, let's just say it's not exactly top shelf. If you've upgraded to a premium package, this is especially important. You're entitled to better quality spirits, but only if you name them. So when you order, say it clearly. I'll take a Grey Goose tonic, not just vodka tonic. Don't be shy, you've already paid for it. And if you're not sure what's included, check your cruise line's website. Screenshot the list of brands or keep it on your phone. That way, you'll always know what you can order and what you're missing. You're not being difficult. You're just getting what you paid for. Most people hear drink package and think cocktails, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Cruise drink packages often include way more than alcohol. We're talking bottled water, fresh squeezed juice, iced coffee, energy drinks, even frozen frappes. And trust me, those frozen coffees hit differently after a long, sweaty shore excursion. You might not drink 10 beers a day, but if you're sipping lattes in the morning and vitamin water in the afternoon, you're getting serious value. So don't overlook the extras. They add up fast. Energy drinks at the gym, sparkling water by the pool, mocktails during a show. It's all included, if you remember to use it. And here's a pro tip. Always bring a couple bottles or cans of water back to your cabin. You'll thank yourself when you wake up parched at 2 a.m. Don't waste your drink package on just booze. Cruise smarter than that. Your drink package doesn't end at the bar, but you'd be surprised how many cruisers forget to use it in their cabin. Picture this. It's late, you're tired, and suddenly you're parched. You reach into the mini fridge, and the only water in there? That tiny $5 Evian bottle that's not part of your package. Ouch! Don't make that mistake. Here's what smart cruisers do. They stop by a bar on the way back to the cabin and grab 2 or 3 waters. Every single time. Ask your cabin steward to empty the mini fridge on day 1, then slowly fill it with your own stash. Water bottles, canned sodas, even juices. You'll be set for late-night sips or early morning shore excursions. And no surprises on your final bill. This one's simple. If it's included, use it. Your future self and your wallet will thank you. Here's the truth. Not every itinerary needs a drink package. I know, it feels wrong to even say that. But think about it. If you're in port 5 days out of 7, how many drinks are you really having on board? Long Mediterranean cruises, Alaska with early mornings, or those packed with all-day excursions. You might be too busy, too tired, or too off the ship to use that package. Instead of feeling pressured to drink your money's worth, ask yourself this. Would paying per drink actually cost less? Or could you bring your own wine on board and save the rest for excursions? Some seasoned cruisers treat drink packages like a buffet, only worth it if you use it. And on some sailings you simply won't. So don't assume you have to buy it every time. Do the math, pick your battles, and save that drink package for the cruises where it'll actually pay off. Some cruise lines love using words like free at sea or all included. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. Not all drink packages are created equal. On Norwegian, for example, their free at sea perk includes alcoholic drinks, but not specialty coffees. So that morning cappuccino you're craving? It's coming out of pocket. Celebrity's basic package might cover the basics, but if you want premium wine or that nice scotch, you'll need an upgrade. Princess has Princess Plus, which includes more, but even then, read the fine print. Bottom line? Don't assume included means everything. Smart cruisers check what's covered before stepping on board, because nothing ruins a relaxing cruise faster than surprise charges, especially for your daily double espresso or post-dinner cocktail. So you paid for unlimited drinks, right? Well, not exactly. Most cruise lines, believe it or not, quietly cap alcoholic beverages at around 15 per day. Yeah, 15, which honestly sounds like a lot, until you realize that poolside margarita, pre-dinner wine, and those late-night cocktails really add up faster than you'd think. And here's another surprise. Some lines also limit the price of each drink. Say your package covers drinks up to $12, but you order that fancy $15 whiskey, you'll be charged the difference. Suddenly, that included drink becomes a sneaky upcharge. So, to avoid surprises, always ask the bartender what's included before you order. Or even better, look up your cruise line's drink policy in advance. Just a few minutes of homework can save you a lot of nickel and diming. Because honestly, nothing kills the vacation vibe like unexpected bar bills. Let's be honest. After a long day in port, you're hot, tired, and probably dehydrated. And nothing's worse than coming back to your cabin and realizing there's no water in sight. Sure, you can drink the tap, but let's face it, it's not always what you want at midnight. Most cruisers forget. Your drink package usually includes bottled water or cans. So go ahead and grab them throughout the day. Ask the bar staff for 2 to-go bottles and bring them back to your cabin. Even better, have your cabin steward clear out the mini fridge and make it your own personal hydration station. Use those bottles for shore excursions, late-night thirst, or even for brushing your teeth if you're a bit picky. Just don't, and I really mean don't, grab the fancy minibar Evian unless you're ready to pay $5 a bottle. Smart cruisers hydrate smarter, not harder. And they never let a dry mouth ruin their vacation. Menus are helpful, but they can also be limiting. Cruise bar menus often highlight a small selection of cocktails. But here's the secret. Most bartenders can make way more than what's listed. Your favorite drink from back home? A margarita, mojito, or even something quirky like a Miami Vice? Just ask. If the ingredients are on board, they'll likely make it. No problem. Sticking to the menu means missing out on what your drink package really covers. And if you're craving something off-menu, don't be shy. The bartenders are usually happy to show off their skills. You paid for flexibility. Use it. Want to try something new? Ask for their specialty. Want your usual? Say it by name. Either way, don't let a laminated drink list decide your vacation. Smart cruisers order what they want, not just what's written down. Here's a surprise that's ruined a few beach days. Your drink package might not work on the cruise line's private island. Yep, even though it's technically part of your cruise, each cruise line plays by its own rules here. For example, if you're sailing with Royal Caribbean, your package usually works at Coco Cay, even at the swim-up bar. But book a cruise with Carnival? Your drink perks won't work at Half Moon Cay. Same for other lines. Princess lets you use it at Princess Cay's, but it's not universal. The result? Many guests get stuck paying out of pocket for beachside cocktails they thought were included. So before you step off the ship, double-check whether your package extends to the island. A quick look online or a chat with guest services can save you a sandy, overpriced surprise.